I got something a little different in mind for this video. As a little break from the hardcore series, I've been playing around in creative mode, and I'm going to be walking you through a nice little house that I built. It's perfect for survival mode if you want to build along. And yeah, it was all kind of improv, so I was just figuring it out as I was going along. Alright, so to start things out, I'm just going to clear out some space here and try to get the foundation down first. Okay, so that's enough space for now. I'm going to build a nice little archway with these dark oak planks. Dark oak stairs, actually. I do make some mistakes here and there, and end up changing stuff along the way, but that's just how Minecraft is. You try out new ideas here and there, keep the ones you like, get rid of the ones you don't, and by the end of it, hopefully it doesn't suck. Let's go in here with some oak logs now. I'm going to try to keep this mostly a wood-based build. I think that'll best fit the Hobbit vibe that I'm going for here. So this will be the entrance, and I plan on building the outside first before I really get into the interior. I extended the grass out a little bit just to have some more space to work with. And let's make this a little bit wider. It's a bit too narrow for my liking. As you can see, I messed around with the shape a little bit and settled on this, and then fill in the rest with dark oak stairs on the top. Here, I begin working on the other archway. There's going to be two of them, one coming out of the left and one coming out of the right. And I use dark oak stairs to do this as well. And what I like to do when I build is place extra and then tear away what I don't need. So I sort of have something to chisel away at. Otherwise, the shapes can be kind of funny and hard to work out the first time. Now I go in with some birch planks and place those behind the dark oak stairs. And this is where our first window is going to be. I try to make a nice little windowsill with the dark oak slabs, but as you can see, I couldn't get a shape that I liked and eventually settled on dark oak stairs. And the pattern I did was just a 2x2 frame with 2 on the bottom and top and then 2 on both of the sides. And once we get that all done, we fill in the center with glass to make a nice big window. Now I just extend the roof into the hillside behind it, and I use birch stairs to do that, as well as birch slabs at the top. Here's a different angle so you can see what I'm doing better. Just extending the roof back into this hill. And I think I actually use full blocks there, not slabs. Now let's go in and add some barrels just to the side of the window, and I want them vertical, not sideways. Okay, there we go. Thought I was going crazy for a second. I'm gonna add a couple torches also. Okay, I like that, so let's just build the right side now. Let's do it exactly the same as the left. What I do is I just copy the archway first, get the shape down, again with the dark oak stairs, and clear out some of the hill behind it. And then when I get all that done, same thing as last time, go in with the birch, and create that nice bit of contrast, and add another layer of contrast by making the windowsill out of the dark oak stairs. I still haven't carved out the rooms behind these windows yet, but we get to that towards the end. Now I want to clear out some space up here and create a wall coming up between these two windows. Let's just try some smooth stone first. Bring it up a second layer. I don't know. I kind of want to try something else, although that does look nice. Let's tear that away and try some regular old bricks. Nobody ever uses bricks if you think about it. I do keep this for now, but I eventually change it because I don't think that looks too great. I somehow had a lapse of judgment and convinced myself that that looked nice, but in hindsight it definitely does not fit too well. Now I start working on the other 2 rooms that are going to be above these 2 rooms. I start out with just birch stairs and try to figure out the shape. I want to make it a bit narrower and make them smaller rooms than the ones below them. And so I just play around with it until I come up with the shape that I like. And once I find a shape that sticks, I just extend it back into the hill. I also think it's sticking out a little bit too far, so I tear back 2 or 3 layers. I want to add a nice staircase that's going to lead up to the top of this room. So I build a little something with dark oak stairs and expand on it a little bit later, but just get the outline for now. Now I modify this top room a little bit. I put the windows in and then wanted to give it a trim with deep slate stairs. So I work around a little bit and come up with a design and end up changing a few things. I threw in some stripped oak logs right beside the window, as you can see. And then right on top of those stripped oak logs, I used some glowing item frames just to add a bit more texture. And I think they fit the color scheme really well. On top of the build, in the center, I want to add a wheat farm, so I clear out some land above. And it's not going to be anything too big, just a small little wheat farm. And I create the borders with oak logs, and fill in the rest with some grass, and plant the wheat on top. It's only 5x4 blocks, so nothing significant, but enough to just stand out and add to the design of the build. I put a row of water behind it, and in the very front I use trap doors to cover the oak logs. On both sides of the farm, I add 2 little flower pots with the torch flower. And now I make my way back over to the left side where I'm going to build that staircase. I just stick with the dark oak stairs and make it a nice, long, shallow staircase. Underneath, I texture it with some oak fences and also use a couple stripped logs down there. And then I built a couple of pillars out of stripped birch logs. They might be oak actually, I can't remember. But then I cap those off with spruce slabs, throw a couple torches down, and the staircase is looking pretty nice. Now I come to the right side of the house and copy exactly what I did on the left side. So I clear out a bunch of space and copy that other room block for block. Here I come in with the deep slate slabs and then fill it in with birch after I get the roof done. I'm not going to build a staircase on this side though. That's just going to be on the left side. You could if you wanted to make it symmetrical, and if there's not like a hill to the side of it, then that would work out just fine. But I feel like the lack of symmetry actually works out really well in the end. Then I come down here and give it a nice little fenced in enclosure and start creating some path blocks. This is the point where I decided that the bricks have got to go. I try a few ideas. I tried putting leaves there, but didn't like it. So I tore all that down and just tried birch planks. And I thought it looked better, but I still didn't think it was what I wanted. So then I tried birch logs, and then I tried cherry logs, dark oak logs, acacia logs, before finally settling on the stripped oak logs. Now I start working on the very top room. To keep the theme going, I use dark oak stairs and build the outline with that. I don't want it to be too pointy, but also not flat, so somewhere in between. Now I use birch stairs and place them upside down underneath the dark oak stairs and begin filling in the side with oak logs, stripped oak logs, and other stuff. You can use whatever you want. You could make it all windows if you wanted. Just trying to offer a little bit of inspiration for new build ideas. You see I throw a big window in there, add a cross beam and stuff like that, fill in some extra spots with the stripped oak logs. So yeah, you could really do anything you want with this build. Here I add a couple more cross beams with little flower pots on top, and then add a few torches just to light the place up. Down here I add a few hay bales, just a small detail, but all the small details eventually add up. And now I build a nice little balcony. I use stone bricks and extend some oak fence down from the ground up to it. And then I tried a couple designs on the outside. I tried trapdoors but didn't like it, and then I tried leaves, which stick for now, but I didn't really like it and eventually changed that. But I threw a crafting table, a furnace up there, just a few things to make it feel more cozy, I guess. As a final touch, I add some oak logs in there, and then I move on to the interior. I start out by clearing a large rectangular space behind the door, and now I want to build a little ladder that connects this top room to the main room below. So let's get that done first. For this room, I switched to first person, just to give a different perspective of how I build stuff, but for the rest of the rooms that I build, I do third person, and it's a much quicker, cooler looking process. I don't know. Just keep in mind third person view comes back. Okay, let's start decorating this room. I'm gonna go with oak logs. Actually, I believe it's dark oak. And let's use some oak planks for the walls. I'm gonna clear out this space and give the walls a bit more texture so they're not just flat. And maybe a couple flower pots here. I'll fill those in with azalea trees or saplings, whatever they are. And let's light this place up a little bit. I'm just going to do the same thing for the other wall on this side. So some oak planks. Let's do the roof with oak planks also. It's a bit crammed in here, so let's make some more space. Just extend this out a little bit. And fill in this little bit also. For the back wall, I'm thinking I use bookshelves, but let's just line it with oak wood first. Actually, I didn't need that oak wood, but let's do a little checker pattern here with the bookshelves. So place one, skip a block, place one, skip a block, and put one there and here. And then behind it, let's put oak logs. Whoops. So let's just put the logs here in these spaces between. And a little bit more depth, we could add these fence posts. Place a few torches up here, just kind of out of the way. Okay, that's looking pretty nice. Let's do some flower pots on the other side. And then a cornflower here. Oxy daisy right next to it. The only thing left is the floors, so let's clear out some space. Honestly, I'm just going to use oak logs. They look pretty good. And it fits the rest of the build, so let's just fill this in. No, that's the wrong way. Let's fix that. And let's put a staircase right here. Actually, I don't know if a staircase will work. Will it reach to the bottom? No, I don't think so. So let's just do a ladder instead. Let's dig down. Let's find the ladder from the bottom. So let's just dig up here and hopefully I find that hole. Okay, that's too short. Plug that up. Okay. And let's just dig back, see if we can find it. Oh, perfect. So now I need to extend this room back to there. Make it a little bit bigger. Let's get some torches so we can see what we're doing. This is better. It was too narrow before, especially because I'm going to decorate the walls and stuff. I wasn't going to, but I actually switched back to third person view because I think it looks pretty cool. So I do the floors with oak wood, same as the room above. Place down a few torches and stuff, and then carve out the walls so that I can give them more depth, just like the room above. I use oak stairs and dark oak stairs as a trim for the wall. Here I'm doing the same exact thing on the other side. This is a better angle, so I just copy the left side onto the right side and then start working on the roof or the ceiling. I use dark oak first. I try a couple of things here. I was thinking about it and I didn't like the dark oak, so I tried regular oak logs, but eventually settled on oak planks. And then I build a little pole in the back with oak logs and put the ladder there so I can access the room above. And I wanted to add another bookshelf wall in the back, just like the room above. So I make like a checkerboard with the bookshelves, place oak logs in the gaps behind them. And in front of the oak logs, I think I use birch fence. I place some torches in the ones that are at eye level, and then fill in the rest with birch fence. I make a couple changes also. I use dark oak instead of regular oak behind the ladder, just small things. And now I start clearing out the walls. I want to add something back there to give the room depth and maybe some more detail. I use cherry wood and place it behind the wall, and I do this on both sides. I throw some torches in there. And to make the walls a bit more fun and pop out, I add stone brick walls and fences. Now I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. Put the cherry wood, the fences, the walls, torches in there, and make it symmetrical. I also add some of the basics like chests and a crafting place, a furnace. I put a bed in here just to give it that survival vibe. This could be the main room. And then I use a couple more flower pots and put saplings in those. Now for the windows above, I just clear out a tiny little room, place some oak logs in there just so it's not dirt, and add some blue lanterns and torches so that it looks pretty nice from the outside. I do the same thing on the other side, nothing too special. I just keep it pretty simple. For the last two rooms, I'm thinking I do an enchanting room and a chest room. Just something that's kind of practical for survival, and I think I can make it look pretty nice. So I clear out some space and just connect it to the main room through a tiny little staircase. And I use oak for the floor. I keep the whole theme going with the staircases on the walls and stuff. This time it's birch, and I use oak planks behind it, paired with some dark oak logs. I use a couple of blue lanterns. I think that will fit the enchanting room vibe pretty well. And then in the back, I clear out some space, and that's where the enchanting table is going to go. I want to use a bookshelf wall behind it, because it wouldn't be an enchanting room without that. Add a few books to the sides, and then use dark oak stairs to sort of finish off the trim of the room. I also use glowstone underneath the table. It's kind of a classic, and it looks really well in this build. Usually glowstone's kind of ugly, but I think it looks pretty awesome right here. And I go ahead and replace the roof or the ceiling with deep slate stone bricks. I just feel like that really fits the enchanting room vibe as well. And a kind of random detail, but it brings the room together, is some flower pots with cactuses. Moving on to the next room, I do the same thing, just clear out a big space. This is going to be the chest room where I keep my storage area and stuff. So I just clear out a nice tunnel and I keep with the theme like usual. I'm going to have the same type of walls. I'm going to put a bookshelf wall in the back also. I use the birch and the dark oak stairs. I also have the cherry wood in there, as you can see. I put the stone brick walls in. I also use the fences and some lanterns here and there. You could put some flower pots in there if you want, just a few things to add detail. But yeah, I really enjoy this style of building. I think it looks good. It's also fun to do, and it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing you couldn't do yourself. I just keep to a pretty basic color palette. Stick with the same blocks, just mostly wood, mostly the birch and the dark oak and regular oak. You see I used oak logs for the floor, and I add a library in the back also, just like the other rooms. It really makes the room feel a lot more cozy, I think. I think for any build that uses mostly wood, you can always squeeze some bookshelves in there, and it just makes it feel more sophisticated. I don't know. They're a great block, so go crazy with the bookshelves. Also, if you're struggling with detail, try to add some fences or stone walls somewhere. They don't add too much, but they can add sometimes just enough to give you new ideas to play around with. As you can see, I just went with oak for the ceiling and the floor, and then the chests go in the back. So this is the storage room. I think it looks really good, and it also fits with the rest of the build very well. Now I come back out front, and the last thing I do is replace the leaves with the dark oak stairs. And that's the last change that I make. You could make the rooms bigger if you wanted, or extend them. You could put your own twist on it. But yeah, that's going to be all I got. I figured it was time to do some sort of creative build. I've been so glued to my hardcore world, but I just don't have the time. I'm very busy, and the hardcore world is just so slow paced. Sometimes I just want to build something, but in the hardcore world, you have to gather all the materials and just go back and forth between different projects, and it's tedious. So I just wanted to build something, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you really did enjoy it, maybe you could slap a big fat like on it, a nice juicy one, and maybe even a comment. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.